In this series of videos, we will be learning all the formulae of trigonometry, and this video content is going to be very helpful for you for 11th standard college examinations, 12th standard examinations, and even for JEE mains and advanced. Let's begin. The first thing you need to learn in trigonometry is the trigonometric identities. So the first trigonometric identity is sin square theta plus cos square theta equal to 1. This is a simple modification of the Pythagoras theorem itself. So if I consider a right angle triangle, let's say the triangle is ABC. In the triangle ABC, we can say by Pythagoras theorem that AB square plus BC square will be equal to AC square. You just need to divide both the sides with AC square. So on the right hand side you will have 1. On the left hand side it will be AB square upon AC square plus BC square upon AC square. Now consider this angle as theta. If this angle is theta, then in the triangle ABC that you see here, BC upon AC will be equal to sin theta. So here's BC upon AC and we can write it as sin square theta. And similarly AB upon AC, that is this upon this, is going to be cos theta, because that represents adjacent upon hypotenuse. So we are writing the first term as cos square theta, and yeah, that's how a simple modification of the Pythagoras theorem gave you the first trigonometric identity. The other two trigonometric identities can be obtained from this very identity. All you need to do is divide both the sides with cos square theta. So the second trigonometric identity is sin square theta plus cos square theta upon cos square theta. That's what I get when I divide left hand side with cos square theta. On the right hand side it will be 1 upon cos square theta. 1 upon cos square theta will be sec square theta on the right hand side, and when you separate cos square theta on the left hand side, you will have sin square theta upon cos square theta, which is tan square theta, plus cos square theta upon cos square theta, that will be equal to 1. So here's your second trigonometric identity, that is tan square theta plus 1 is equal to sec square theta. There's one little modification of this result that you should be aware about. That is, if you take tan square theta on the right, you have 1 is equals to sec square theta minus tan square theta. Now the right hand side is of the form a square minus b square. So you can write it as a plus b into a minus b. So this will be sec theta plus tan theta into sec theta minus tan theta. Take any one of the two brackets on the left hand side, and let's say I am taking this bracket on the left. So we have 1 upon sec theta plus tan theta is equal to sec theta minus tan theta. So if you check this result carefully, you realize that sec theta plus tan theta and sec theta minus tan theta are reciprocals of each other. So every time you come across an expression of the type 1 upon sec theta minus tan theta, with the help of this result, you can easily write it as sec theta plus tan theta. Or if you come across 1 upon sec theta plus tan theta, you can write it as sec theta minus tan theta, because like we discussed, sec theta plus tan theta and sec theta minus tan theta are reciprocals of each other. Now, just like we have derived our second result, we can go for deriving a third result as well. That is, divide both the sides of this equation with cos square theta, with sin square theta. So you will have sin square theta plus cos square theta, the whole upon sin square theta, equal to, on the right hand side it would be 1 upon sin square theta. 1 upon sin square theta on the right makes it cosec square theta. Split the two terms on the left. The first term becomes 1 and the second term becomes cos square theta upon sin square theta, which is cot square theta. So here's your third trigonometric identity, that is 1 plus cot square theta is equals to cosec square theta. Take that cot square theta on the right and you will observe a result similar to the one that we had done in the second identity. So you will have 1 is equals to cosec square theta minus cot square theta. This side is of the type a square minus b square, so we can write it as a plus b into a minus b. So we can write it as cosec theta plus cot theta into cosec theta minus cot theta. Take one of the two brackets on the left hand side. Let's say I am taking this bracket on the left. So we will have 1 upon cosec theta minus cot theta. 1 upon cosec theta plus cot theta equal to cosec theta minus cot theta. So again our inference is the same, that cosec theta plus cot theta and cosec theta minus cot theta are reciprocals of each other. So yeah, these are your three trigonometric identities, and this is the very first thing that you should be clear with while you are going ahead with the trigonometry of 11th standard. Let's go ahead with the next concept, that is complementary angles. When we talk about complementary angles, what we refer to is two angles whose total will be 90 degrees. Say for example 40 degrees and 50 degrees. The total of them gives you 90 degrees. So yes, we can say that 40 and 50 are complementary angles. Let's talk of 60 and 70. The total gives you 130. This is not 90, and that is why 60 degrees and 70 degrees are not complementary angles. So simply speaking about complementary angles, two angles are complementary if their sum is going to be 90 degrees. Now say for example we talk of a triangle, of course a right angle triangle. Let's term it as ABC. And what if I ask you what is sine A? The definition of sine A is very clear, that is going to be opposite upon the hypotenuse. So that will be BC upon AC. But now that BC upon AC, if you consider the angle C, that BC upon AC for the angle C is going to be cos C. So we can figure out over here that sine A is basically equal to cos C in this particular right angle triangle that I have drawn. Let us take this angle A as theta. Now because it's a right angle triangle, this will be 90 degree, and that is why we can say that angle B plus angle A plus angle C has to be 180. So we have angle A, which is theta, plus angle B, which is 90, plus the angle C, that will be 180. You can take that 90 on the right and say that C will be 180 minus 90 minus theta. I know that most of you will be knowing that the other angle was by default 90 minus theta, but just in case if there's anyone who did not know the reason behind it, I have explained it here. So this last angle is 90 minus theta. So let's write sine A as sine theta, and we see that sine theta is the same as cos of the complementary angle of it, which is 90 minus theta. Why am I calling it complementary? That is because try to add this angle and this angle. Theta plus 90 minus theta will give you 90 only. So for complementary angles, you can follow this kind of a result, that sine theta will be the same as cos of 90 minus theta. So say for example I ask you what is sine 40. If you want to write it in terms of cos, you can say this will be cos of sine theta is cos of 90 minus theta. So you can say this will be cos of 90 minus 40, that is it will be cos 50. Okay, this kind of a relation will exist between cos and sine also, that is cos theta will also be sine of 90 minus theta. So every time you have cos of 90 minus theta, you should know that you can simplify it and write it as sine theta. If you have sine of 90 minus theta, you can write it as cos theta. Just by chance you want to convert sine theta to cos theta, the result is very clear. Sine theta can be converted into cos theta by using the result sine theta is cos of 90 minus theta, and similarly cos can be converted to sine by using the result cos theta is sine of 90 minus theta. In a similar way, we will have tan theta is cot of 90 minus theta, and you can say cot theta will be tan of 90 minus theta. Two more identities with the two more leftover functions, which is sec theta can be written as cosec of 90 minus theta, and cosec of 90 minus theta will be equal to sec theta. These are some results related to complementary angles which you should remember in the forward sense as well as the reverse sense. This is a method which is commonly going to be used for converting one trigonometric function to the other trigonometric function, if at all it is required in any simplification. Okay, let's go ahead with the next concept, and these are just a few formulae that you should know. I don't classify them into any particular set of formulae, but yeah, these are some results you should be aware about. When we talk about measuring an angle in the XY coordinate system, the measurement of an angle in XY coordinate system always starts from the positive direction of x-axis. Say for example, I talk of an angle of 60 degrees. 60 degrees angle means you need to start from positive x-axis, and because I said 60, I meant plus 60. Positive angle always refers to anti-clockwise rotation. So starting from positive x-axis, we are moving anti-clockwise 60 degrees, and this is the terminal position where we reach. So this is 60 degrees as per the proper convention, or like I said, as a method by which we measure angles in the XY coordinate system. What if I talk of an angle of minus 75 degrees? I will measure 75 degrees from positive X only, but because this is negative, the angle will be measured in the clockwise direction. So from positive X, we will move clockwise 75 degrees, and this is the final angle that we will get. So this is an angle of minus 75 degrees. In short, the meaning of positive and negative angles is that a positive angle is measured in the anti-clockwise direction and a negative angle is measured in the clockwise direction. With that understanding, if I ever say what is sine of minus theta, you should know that sine of minus theta is minus of sine theta. There are definitely explanations for this, but in this particular video, I will not get into the detailed explanation of why this happens. I would simply expect that for the time being, you need to remember this like a result. That sine of minus theta will be minus of sine theta. Cos of minus theta will be cos theta only. And tan of minus theta, now tan of minus theta, this is like sine theta upon cos theta. Precisely it is sine of minus theta upon cos of minus theta. Sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. Cos of minus theta is cos theta. So this is minus of tan theta. So ultimately tan of minus theta will be equal to minus tan theta. This is yet another result that you should keep in mind. A common mistake made with this result. See, what I have said is cos of minus theta is cos theta. I never said minus cos theta is equal to cos theta. For example, if I say cos of minus 60, this will be cos 60 only. But minus of cos 60, this is not equal to cos 60. That minus sign from outside cos cannot be eliminated just like that. It's only the negative sign inside the cos which can be just consumed somewhere, and you can just write it as cos 60. Not consumed somewhere, but like I said, the result is cos minus theta is cos theta. You can avoid writing that minus sign and say that cos of minus 60 will be cos 60. Only if the minus sign appears along with the angle inside the cos. Okay, so these are a few results that you should know, and do not make the common mistakes which I have just discussed over here. So this is 1, 2 and 3 more important results that you should be aware about.